That is our beloved David Klein on our meditation music this morning. We're so grateful to have him here in person, sharing his beautiful gifts. You can always check him out online. And thank you so much, David. Thank you. Good morning, Agape, and welcome. Welcome, everyone. We just give you all virtual hugs wherever you are. And thank you for tuning in and being with us this morning as we celebrate Life Divine. I'm Mary Ann Lewis, Music and Arts Director here at Agape. And we are celebrating African American History Month. It is so wonderful as we just celebrate and honor all those who have given so much for the history of this country, building it. Hey, in the house today, we have Victor Dickerson, Dorothy Pincus, Joshua Johnson, and Tawana Floyd, and our amazing house band. All right, so we have some freedom songs for you this morning. Yeah. Paul and Silas bound in jail, had no money for to go their bail. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
John and Silas made a shout. Hold on. Free from jail they walked out.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on.
hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Got my hand on the gospel plow. Wouldn't take nothing for my journey now.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on,
hold on,
hold on,
hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Well, the only thing we did wrong, stayed in the wilderness a day too long.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on,
hold on,
hold on,
hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Well, the only thing we right was the day we started to fight.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on.
hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on. We met jail and violence too, but God's love will see us through. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Beautiful day, Agape Nation. Now is the time for our meditative thought. It's coming up on the screens, as always. I invite you to take this through the week and use it in a wondrous and awesome way. Reverend Michael tells us this today. Love is the most practical state of being because through it, we see the world as Spirit sees it. We relate to and with the world and all beings through right seeing, through the 2020 vision of a Christ, a Buddha. In other words, through our true awakened nature. That's our view this week. Love to you, Agape. Thank you.
So good. Thank you so much, Reverend Coco, Reverend Michael. Well, it's time now for our congregational song, and it is Use Me, as you know. So let's all sing together all around the world. Feel free to stand where you are, as we love to stand at this time in our service. And if you're with us for the very first time, once again, we welcome you. We hold you in love, and the words are on the screen, so feel free to sing along with us, please. Here we go.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, leading us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Yeah. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, and makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must
And a dynamic welcome to all of you all around the globe participating in the evolution of your own consciousness by participating with the Agape International Spiritual Center of Truth. We welcome you today. But more importantly, your soul is welcoming you to have an insight into your higher nature and appreciates that you're here. So in the name of the Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit that is everywhere in its fullness, in the name of the individualized expression of the all, which is each and every one of us, in the name of why we are here to manifest the realm of ever-expanding good on earth as it is in the heart mind of the infinite, I welcome you to Agape. We have Mijan, who's going to come forward with her musicality. You may have seen her break forward with the #1 hit. What is it called? Garage?
Yeah, dance house music.
Dance house music. She's been around for a long time. She's sung in Europe. She's sung in the United States. She's been with our international choir. And today, we get to have her right here on stage. Listen to this song. It is so appropriate for this particular moment as we are celebrating Black History Month. But as I like to say, we're actually celebrating American history because we're interwoven with American history. You know that.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Jean, one word describes her. Beautiful, magnificent, uplifting, inspirational, transcendent. Jean and our magnificent house band, Mitchell Foreman and John Hart and Curtis Bird and David Neal, holding the vibrational frequency for her to launch into the African American national anthem as it has come to be known as. I welcome you here today. If you're here for the first time, if you're newish to Agape, we want to welcome you. We want to invite you into yourself. And what we want to do is we want to extend our hearts through our hands and welcome you into our sacred center. You can stand up where you are and just be available to this welcome. As we say to you this morning, or if you're in another time zone this afternoon, or if you're in another time zone this evening, we say, welcome to Agape. We recognize you. We see who you truly are. Spiritual image and the very likeness of God. A unique expression of beauty and unfolding genius. And today we get to celebrate your very existence. We get to celebrate your infinite potential. We appreciate you. We thank God for you. And we say from the depth of our being, welcome to Agape! Feel that frequency of welcome. Feel the frequency of love, which is the name of our community. The name of our community is love, Agape, the love of God operating in the human heart. We appreciate you, and your soul is overjoyed that you are in a field of sanity. We have, you heard me say the word practitioner. If you're newish, they're the first ecclesiastical order of our spiritual community. They are spiritual therapists that have put themselves through intense training in prayer and meditation, life visioning, sacred service, the ability to articulate the universal spiritual principles. They're here to assist the unfoldment of consciousness and to bless our community and to bless the individuals that come to see them. Jennifer Kapler is going to come forward to represent that field. Magnificent individual who is here at Agape. She's intricately involved in our Agape University, among one of the places that she serves. She's going to bring forth the affirmations and the purpose statement, the selected reading, and this morning, this afternoon, this evening, evocation. Jennifer Kapler.
Thank you, Reverend Michael. Good morning, Agape. Reverend Michael's theme for this month is Your Triumphant Spirit. It's initiation time. And his topic today is From Moody Blues to Sacred News. It was my joy to facilitate our meditation with music provided by practitioner David Klein Lovett. And today's musical inspiration is the magnificent Mijan Owens. Our interpreter for today is Romina Mina. And licensed practitioners are currently holding prayer vigil and engaging with you in the comments of this broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. You are invited to share any prayer requests there or contact our prayer ministry directly. Now it is time for our affirmations. I invite you to please stand, if you can, wherever you are, and repeat them aloud after me, line by line. Empowered by the love of God, I walk as a beneficial presence on this planet. My inner guidance lifts me above any fear, doubt, or worry. Buoyant, boundless energy restores my body, mind, and soul. Yes, God is the one source and the constant resource of my life. I am an ambassador of the unseen, making abundance available on this planet. All praise and glory is to God. So be it. Amen. Beautiful. Thank you. You may be seated. Agape's purpose statement. Our purpose as an intentional spiritual community is to be a living environment for individuals to realize that they are unique emanations of God, the love intelligence governing the universe. We embody an understanding of our oneness with God, and we consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through the New Thought Ageless Wisdom teachings and the energy of unconditional love, we are committed to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence on the planet. Simply, we are here for God. Our selected reading is taken from the book The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh. It can be found beginning on page 5 and is entitled Eating a Tangerine. So I just invite you to listen with your heart. I remember a number of years ago when Jim and I were first traveling together in the United States. We sat under a tree and shared a tangerine. He began to talk about what we would be doing in the future. Whenever we thought about a project that seemed attractive or inspiring, Jim became so immersed in it that he literally forgot about what he was doing in the present. He popped a section of the tangerine in his mouth, and before he had begun chewing it, he already had another slice ready to pop into his mouth again. He was hardly aware he was eating a tangerine. All I had to say was, "You ought to eat the tangerine section you've already taken." Jim was startled into realizing what he was doing. It was as if he hadn't been eating the tangerine at all. If he had been eating anything, he was eating his future plans. A tangerine has sections. If you can eat just one section, you can probably eat the entire tangerine. But if you can't eat a single section, you cannot eat the tangerine. Jim understood. He slowly put his hand down and focused on the presence of the slice already in his mouth. He chewed it thoughtfully before reaching down and taking another section. Later, when Jim went to prison for activities against the war, I was worried about whether he could endure the 4 walls of prison and sent him a very short letter. "Do you remember the tangerine we shared when we were together? You being there is like the tangerine. Eat it and be one with it. Tomorrow, it will be no more." So as we just allow those words to land on our heart, I invite you to turn within for a moment of prayer. How grateful I am to be right here and right now, to be so very aware of this present moment. How grateful I am to know that this present moment holds everything I need. No worry about the past, no anxiety about the future. I am here now. And I know that this one power and one presence is here. And it is the only thing happening. It is easy to recognize this when I am filled with gratitude, and easy to know that I am one with this power and presence. And because this is true for me, this is true for everyone within the sound of my voice, and for every single being in the cosmos. We are all made in the image and likeness of the divine, the infinite spirit. And all of our needs are met right here, right now, right where we are in this present moment, holds everything for all of us. So knowing this, I bless this service. I know that this service holds something for each and every one of us, that our hearts are open, and that we hear with the ear beyond the ear. I know that Reverend Michael is the I am presence, and that his word is directly spoken from the one power, the one source. So I bless this service. I know it is perfect, and so it is. Amen.
Jennifer Kapler, our practitioner for this particular service, welcoming you in on a powerful prayer vibration. And now our music ministry welcomes you in on the frequency of the songs of the celestial.
Hey, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh.
Speaking to the best you see,
Ashe, oh,
to the excellence that's meant to be.
Ashe, oh,
Receive the power in your hand
Ashe, oh,
to create new life at your command.
Ashe, oh,
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh,
To declare and claim the light in you
Ashe, oh,
is a gift we must awaken to.
Ashe, oh,
We're designed to speak a word and know,
Ashe, oh,
as it is above, it is below.
Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh. All right now. Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, Ashe, oh.
We are calling forth the light of love.
Ashe, oh,
As it is below, it is
Ashe,
above.
oh,
Emanate the power of the
Ashe,
sun,
oh,
and know that it's already done. Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh,
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh,
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe,
Speak the word and go.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe.
That's the vibration. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. We welcome you into that wonderful frequency of Agape International. There's so much goes on at Agape, right along with our Sunday services. The Reverend Carlton T-Bot is going to come forward and highlight some of those wonderful things.
Thank you, Reverend Michael. Good morning, Agape. Good morning. So we have a few highlights for you today, and make sure you visit agapelive.com for more details on all of this. And remember, all times listed are Pacific Standard Time. So the Music and Arts Ministry is excited to announce that the Agape International and Global Choirs are open for auditions. Let's take a look. So no matter where you are in the world, it's time to answer the call. Come together and sing. Auditions begin today, February 6th, and run through February 28th. If you are a singer, interested in sharing your voice, building community, and experiencing the great joy of participating in the music of Agape, please visit agapelive.com/global choir to get all the details for both choirs and upload your audition video today. Please make sure you check the guidelines for eligibility and see exactly how to submit. This is an invitation for Agape members here in the Los Angeles area, as well as those all over the world, to join together in song through our virtual performances and beyond. Save the date, the power of prayer. Learn to pray the Agape way. So the Agape way is an understanding of the foundational structure of 6-step affirmative prayer, while embodying the feeling tone of each of those steps and allowing truth to speak through you in your own unique voice. We will do this in a 6-week prayer class led by me, Reverend Carlton Thibaut, with special guest instructors such as Reverend Jason Davion Mitchell, Reverend Susie Lula, Master Practitioner Akili Beckwith, Reverend Victoria Thomas, Reverend Kim Stanwood Terranova, Reverend Deborah Johnson, and our own Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. This class begins Tuesday, February 22nd. It's at 6 p.m., and registration will be open for this class later this week. So join us. Today, Teen Agape, for ages 14 through 16, meet online. That's happening right now. For more information and to join, click the Teen Agape banner on the website. Preteens ages 9 to 13 meet at 2 p.m. Children ages 3 to 8 meet at 3:30 p.m. Both are live Zoom. And to join, get your Agape Youth Fun Packs, email revleon@agapelive.com. And Monday through Saturdays, we see you on Facebook at 8 a.m. for daily prayer and at 12 noon for meditation. So go to agapelive.com for details on that. And the Crisis Support Clinic offers Zoom mini counseling sessions every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. To receive details for your first come, first serve complimentary one-on-one session with a licensed practitioner serving those who seem to be challenged related to finances, relationships, housing, and jobs, email crisissupport@agapelive.com. This is offered to the community at large so anyone may attend. Loving Hands Unite, the Adoption, Foster Care, Fertility Ministry, will have their monthly meeting this Friday, February 11th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. If you would like support with any aspect of the adoption process, please email lovinghandsunite@agapelive.com to receive the Zoom link and to join. And join the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Plus Ministry Saturday, February 12th for the 3 p.m. Zoom gathering. Our guest speaker is soul artist Robin, who presents You Are Love, the Ultimate Truth. Please contact lgbt@agapelive.com for Zoom information, passcode, and any other information. Agape Spiritual Community Gathering is in session. Join us every Friday evening at 5:30 p.m. to connect in community for an enriching, inspiring gathering led by our practitioners and ministers. Email scg@agapelive.com for more information. And as always, dance with the Rev. Get your endorphins flowing and shift your mood. You're going to talk about mood later. Shift your mood, show us your moves, and in a 1-minute video, dancing during the Sunday service, and you upload this using the banner on the Agape website. You may see yourself dance with the Rev on social media and on Sundays. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a beautiful service.
And the wonderful service that he called forward continues with our wonderful Mijan. Tawana and Joshua, and Brother David Klein on flute, and our Agape House Band.
From within, I let my heart begin to see eternity. From within, I let my heart begin to see eternity. Turn within, and now I can begin to see the face of God. Turn within, and now I can begin to see the face of God. Face of God is all I am, and face of God is all I see. Face of God is all I am, and face of God is all I see. From within, I let my heart begin to see eternity. Turn within, and now I can begin to see the face of God. Face of God is all I am, and face of God is all I see. Face of God is all I am, and face of God is all I see. Ever presence all around me. It's within me. It's within. Ever presence all around me. It's within me. It's within. From within, I let my heart begin to see eternity. From within, I let my heart begin to see
That is Mijan. And our wonderful Joshua and Tawana, David Klein, our wonderful house band, Curtis Bird, and David Neal, John Hart, Mitchell Foreman, practitioner, under the direction of Marianne Lewis. She's singing the Ricky Byers classic, From Within. That's where it all begins. Turning deeply within through our spiritual practices that we begin to see eternity. We begin to see the source of all creation. We begin to see beyond time and space And when I say see, I don't mean with the eyes. I mean with our expanded awareness that uses the eyes that sees in this dimension, but the all-seeing eye of Horus, the all-seeing eye of the Christ, the all-seeing eye is always seeing. And when we do our spiritual practice, we get to see rightly as well. Not through the illusion or the delusion of time and space and human experience or all that is transitory, but we begin to see in the midst of human experience, we begin to see the presence and the power and the love of God hiding in plain sight everywhere. Through the cacophony of the flowers praising us and smiling at us from the face of God. We begin to feel the ground upon which we are standing, that ground being holy ground because God is everywhere. We begin to feel the reverential nature of the trees bowing at our divinity because that's the presence of God life, bowing at us. Because we know one thing for sure, that God is not merely in all of creation. All of creation is in God because God is infinite, never absorbed or by its creation. It surrounds its creation, it infuses creation, but all of creation is in it, you see. And we, as we shift our perspective and the context for our life, we begin to understand that we are living and moving and having our beingness in the presence of God. You see, God is not merely in us. We are in God, and God is our very life and being. Thus, when you begin to hear our particular theme of the month, which is your triumphant spirit, you see, it's initiation time. We're coming to a great understanding that our identification crisis, our crisis in identification, that many people are living in because they are over-identifying with the transitory aspect of their being. They're over-identifying with the transitory, the personality, the subpersonality, the constellation of shifting personalities. They're over-identifying with their human experience, things that have happened to them, things that they are doing. They're over-identifying with the gestalt of the human experience and the different stages of evolution that are on the planet, of which we only get a sneak peek at just a very limited aspect of the evolution of consciousness through corporate media. They only give you a little snapshot, and it's always, generally speaking, the lowest common denominator of the human experience. And so we have an identity crisis all of the time. And as I was saying in the earlier service, what begins to happen when you begin to, with earnestness, practice the art and the science of meditation, you begin to practice with earnestness the art and the science of affirmative prayer that Reverend Carlton reminded you about, the class that's going to be starting. There comes a moment in your practice where you realize that up to this moment your life has been a sham. In other words, the way you have identified yourself as a limited being, as the son or daughter of your parents, where you were born, your astrological sign, what country you were born in, what schools you went to, at some point you realize that that's not your real identity. And at some point when there is the breaking down of that, where there is a rush of that kind of insight, it gives you a great moment of insight where you realize that you're more than all of that your life is timeless. Your life is not born from time and experience. Your life is eternally shot from the infinite, and that your spirit is triumphant. That your spirit cannot be caged by time, cannot be caged by experience, cannot be caged by perception, cannot be caged by what other people think about you, cannot be caged by what people have called you or how you've been oppressed or talked about or limited in some way, shape, form, or another. At some point, you have the realization that you are a triumphant being, that your life is hid with Christ in God. Your life is invisibly hid with this dynamic presence that is seeking to know itself as your very life and being. You see, in other words, this presence is everywhere in its fullness. And as the analogy that I've used earlier in the day, Just as electricity is everywhere and never runs out, though it is metered and you're charged for it. And sometimes you may even begin to think from a limited consciousness that electricity is running out or something to that effect. Electricity is everywhere, and electricity needs a light bulb to reveal its luminosity. God is everywhere. And your body, temple, mental body, emotional body, and subtle bodies are the light bulbs through which the infinite gets to bring about the luminosity on the planet, this time in human history and beyond. And so this is why you take care of the light bulb. This is why you take care of these bodies, not for vanity's sake, but for the sake that you can carry more of the cosmic energy, that which is timeless, that which is forever, and that which is the real you on earth as it is in the heart mind of the infinite. Therefore, this perspective of its initiation time is very, very important, because if you change your perspective, if you change your perception, your whole life changes, and the thoughts that emerge from an expanded perception are more vigorous or more vital than the thoughts that are emerging from a limited perspective. What do I mean by that? Right now, humanity has normalized fear, doubt, and worry. Right now, corporate media has you so afraid of everything that you're making your decisions and choices from fear and doubt and worry rather than from your expanded awareness. And so with the vicissitudes that are happening on the planet at this time in human history, we have to shift our perspective, and we have to be aware that this is initiation time. And initiation is when you move from one state of consciousness, expand your awareness, and move to another state. It's a quantum leap without a ladder. You realize that when you get there, that there is actually here, but you just didn't know it. It wasn't activated yet. And so we're in a moment in which we are in an initiatory stage for humanity to leap into another state of awareness. So though we may be on the brink of the species that can eliminate itself through nuclear armaments, through the destroying of the rainforest, the polluting of the oceans, the denuding of the soil, and so many other ways that we can do it, we're also on the brink of a great expansion, you see? And so we have to expand our awareness and realize that we're in an initiatory stage right now for humanity. We're being initiated into a higher frequency because every issue systemically revealed in every system on the planet will never be solved in a linear way. It's already solved in a non-linear dynamic. In the mystical awareness, we would say it's already complete in the heart mind of the infinite. In the quantum reality, within the quantum field, there are whole ideas in this field of consciousness waiting to emerge when the condition is right, you see. And we are that right condition. And so we're in the process of understanding that these moments represent moments of intensity, and which means that these represent moments of intense training. Every single being on the planet that has moved from one level of consciousness, and whatever your field is, to another level of consciousness knows that when you went through intense training, whether it is athletics, whether it is going through school, whether it is learning through a new skill, there's always moments where you get to a point where there's a wall. Emotionally, mentally, physically, it's like a part of you wants to give up. And when you keep on going with this intense training, there's moments of breakthrough where you realize there's more to you than you thought existed before the wall was there, before the exhaustion happened. In that moment of exhaustion, there was a release. And suddenly or incrementally, you saw that you were bigger than the wall. You were bigger than the circumstance. You were bigger than the situations. But you had to go through an intense training because you cannot get a second win you can't get a second win on the treadmill of life. You get a second win when you're in a real intense training in real life, you see. And right now on this planet, there's some serious training that must be done. You see, you have to train your mind, first of all. I was thinking about an individual I was working with a couple of years ago, and the individual was under siege with some dilemmas physically. And I went in and I said, first we're going to work with your mind. And I gave her stuff to read. I gave her practices to work with her mind. So we have to work with our mind. We have to tell ourselves the truth over and over and over and over and over again until new neurons form in the brain. And we begin to live in a state of affirmation, a state of possibility, a state of seeing the presence of God hiding in the seeming darkness, And then we have to train the body temple. You see? Now, this is part of the light bulb aspect of life. The body temple has to be strong enough to carry more cosmic light. And so this is the work you do physically in your particular exercise, your particular qigong, your particular yoga, your particular running, your particular whatever it is that your thing is. Even if it's just walking around the block for 20 minutes, there must be a training on a regular basis. There must be good nutrition on a regular basis. There must be good hydration on a regular basis. It's not just what you stop putting in your body, it's what you also put in your body. But it's a training to be able to carry more cosmic energy. And then there's a training on the soul level. This is your praise. This is your prayer. This is your meditation. This is your study. This is all of the things you do in order to go through this intense training. And the time in which we are living now, the corporate media is training you into fear, you see. And many of you are living a defensive life. You're walking around trying to not have bad things happen to you. You're living life trying to protect yourself against negative stuff outside of you. You are not to live that way. Resist not evil. Fear not, little flock. It is God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You are to live affirmatively, you see, and come to a realization that all healings that happen in the body temple are a byproduct of expanded consciousness, you see? And so in that vibration and in that particular frequency, as you are going through this intense training, you begin to transcend your limitations. And you begin to understand, as the topic would indicate today, you are able to move from those moody blues to a sacred views. In other words, as you come to an understanding of yourself, you begin to see that the moods you get in are cyclical, and they are clouds of condensation of previously held beliefs and thoughts and perceptions that have become the moods that you are in. And oftentimes, people use their moods as excuses not to move forward, not to progress, not to do what they say they were going to do. We're in the second month of 2022, and many people are holding on to their spiritual intentions, and many people are falling by the wayside. And when asked, oftentimes individuals who have been falling by the wayside, they will say, what's going on with your spiritual practice? What's going on with your exercise program? What's going on with your eating good nutrition? And they say, well, yeah, I kind of fell off, They say, well, why did you fall off? Well, I just didn't feel like it, And I don't feel like it is not a reason. It's a it's labeled as emotional pathology. It's called emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning is pathological. It means a mood came and you just went with the mood because you were in the mood. No. That's not your lot. You're not to be run by a cyclical mood. You're to be run by your intention, which means when a mood comes, what do? You observe the mood. You say, ooh, there it is. Not the mood controls me. There is the mood. And then after you observe it, you don't resist the mood. You kind of embrace it. The mood is here. And then you look at the mood and discover the lie in the mood. You see, there's a lie there somewhere. Somewhere within that mood, there is a thought, about inadequacy, a thought about the universe not being friendly or not being progressive. There's a thought in there about lack. There's a thought in there about your littleness or your over-identification with your littleness. There's a thought about what they've said about you and you're believing it. There's some kind of lie there. And then when you ferret out that lie, you begin to tell yourself the truth. Over and over and over again, capital T, truth. My life is the life of God. My life is the life of God Almighty, God all beauty, God all joy, God all power, God all intelligence. There is a perfect whole pattern of me held in the mind of the infinite that's inviolate. It's never been touched by time, never been touched by experience. It's real. I'm the image and likeness and the divine substance of that particular truth. You begin, but it's a training. It's not a one-off. It's a training until after you can't tell yourself the truth, until there's possibility emerges. You begin to see other possibilities rather than see roadblocks, rather than see hindrances, rather than allowing the mood that's bringing you down to guide you. Oh, there's possibilities. And in this field of rich possibilities, you have shifted the context by which you are living. It is in God. It is in this infinite, non-linear dynamic that I live and move and have my being. With God consciousness, everything is possible. I don't know how I'm going to get through this wall. I don't know how I'm going to do what I'm called to do. But that's not my particular job. My particular job is to call forth the possibility, to see it, to announce the truth, to feel it in my bones as a training. You see, to feel it as a training. And until the so-called spiritual second wind takes over. Oh, I see now. Oh my God, I just needed a little rest. I just needed to get my wits together. I just needed to stop. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. To stand still and see the self-elevation of the right use of the law, the great law of life moving through me, you see. And then you'll begin to understand. As we're celebrating, perhaps we're celebrating a Black History Month. I've always talked about the fact that it's actually American history. It's interwoven with American history, because without the forced immigration of Africans here, America would not be what it is today, having all the equity and all the wealth built upon the blacks of individuals that were not compensated for the work that they did. You see, so it's American history. It's not just Black history. It's American history, of which the African Americans contribute so much. But here's the understanding of the triumphant nature. In the 60s, when Lyndon Baines Johnson was the president of the United States, there was a commission that produced what was called the Kerner Report. And it was an actual study of the African Americans in America, the Africans in America. And anyway, I'm just going to jump to the bottom line of the report. But one of the things that was reported in this commission was that based upon all the things that the Africans in America went through, from chattel slavery to indentured servitude to Jim Crowism to legalized lynching to police brutality to redlining to separate but not equal, with all of these particular levels of oppression, the report goes on to say that based on all of this, the Africans should not even exist in America. They shouldn't have survived everything that they went through. But there was a triumphant spirit, primarily coming from what we would call from the Indian tradition. I'm talking about Indian with the dot, not with the feather. Indian, from India, there was something called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is devotional yoga. You know, there are different kinds of yoga, and Agape practices all of them. There's Bhakti Yoga, which deals with devotion, your emotion, your feeling, the chanting, the dance, the total surrender to a presence, you see. And then there's Jnana Yoga, which is intellect, developing the intellect, not spiritualizing, not intellectualizing the spirit, but spiritualizing the intellect. This is what we do in our university. You see, in this karma yoga, good deeds, what you do for others, you see, fast track to enlightenment. Then there's Kriya yoga, your energy, your breath work, changes the frequency of your body. We do all that in Agape. But in the African American tradition, they had terrible theology. They had a white Jesus. They had a theology that had them separated from God. God is in the sky. One day you're going to go to heaven. It was not a real teaching of Jesus. Jesus being the light bulb, the Christ being the presence of God, uniting as one, Jesus the Christ. You see, they didn't necessarily teach that the kingdom of heaven was within. The kingdom of God is within. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The ground upon which you are standing, it is done unto you as a belief. You know, it wasn't teaching a liberation theology. Black folks had a terrible theology, but survived anyway because the bhakti yoga, the devotion, the love, the celebration, the dance, the singing, the absolute surrendering to Jesus, surrendering to God, lifted them above a terrible, limiting theology, limiting nutrition, food in their body temple. You see, and all manner. It was a total release. So you see, our grandmothers are praying and having this devotional spirit to Jesus. You see, and Mother Mary, and it transcended a theology that was not liberating. Now, today, all of us can come to an understanding of a liberating theology that the kingdom of God really is within us and that we're in God and there's no separation between us and God, and that in no way blasphemes the Spirit. You know what blasphemes the Spirit? Limiting God. That's what blasphemes the Spirit, when you limit God. But when you claim that your life is the life of God and that you want to be the light that lights up every man, every woman that comes to the world. You want to let your light so shine before men and women that when they see you, they sing God. You're not blaspheming God. Oh, you're celebrating God. You're magnifying the Lord. You're revealing the light that is within you. And so we want to come to an understanding boldly that one, we have a triumphant spirit that needs to be set free. You see, triumphant spirit, and that we're in the process of a great initiation. You see, and we're going from the moody blues, I don't feel like it, to sacred views. Oh, I see the possibilities. As I said many years ago when we were traveling through Ghana and going through the dungeons, I remember doing a prayer back in the 90s that we were actually the answered prayers from our ancestors. That us existing and rising to all levels of society, medicine, technology, athletics, music, education, etc., were the answer, even though the conditions were horrible. That whole soul devotion transcended a limiting theology that said that we were separate from God, separate from good, that we were evil, that our dark skin made us less than, that we were inferior. You see, a society that said that and a religion that said that. I can remember, when Dr. Howard Washington Thurman went to India, and one of the Indians said to him, I do not respect you. And Dr. Thurman was like, what are you talking about? He says, you are the only African-American traveling in this contingent of Christians. And when you go back to America, you can't even go into a white church. You'll have to sit in the balcony or have your own church. Why would you be a part of a religion that doesn't even see you as a whole person? Dr. Thurman came back to the United States, prayed and contemplated, and he wrote a wonderful treatise. It was called Jesus and the Disinherited. And in that particular treatise, of which Dr. Martin Luther King carried with him all the time, he wrote about the teachings of Jesus and how the teachings of Jesus were for everyone, for the oppressed, for those that had means, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of where you're born. And in that treatise, he says, in substance, I'm not just a Christian, I'm a follower of the teachings of Jesus. And because of that, he was ostracized by the Christian religion at that particular time. They kind of kicked him out because he wasn't owning Christianity. He was owning the teachings of Jesus. You know what was interesting about that? Years later, when Christians were at the city hall burning in effigy O.J. Simpson after he had gotten off, Robert Schuller came out and said the same thing. He said, I'm no longer a Christian. Those Christians out there, I'm not a Christian. I'm a follower of the teachings of Jesus. He quoted Dr. Thurman, you see? And so we're talking about a liberating theology. The real teachings, not the container that was debilitating at times. You're being asked to do this. You're being asked, everyone, black, white, straight, gay, trans, binary, whatever, however you identify yourself. We're being asked to look at the time in which we are living right this moment as a moment of great initiation, moving from one state to another. You shift your perspective by saying that this is an initiation and saying that this is advanced training that's going to take you beyond your little self. Now, if you do that, you're not going to try to eke out your happiness and your joy from your limited perception. You know? It's impossible to even do that. If you think you're merely the son or daughter of your parents, you're merely the byproduct of your environment, you'll be trying to eke out joy from this limited perception, and it will be fleeting. Even if you get a bunch of stuff, you'll find that it's not going to make you happy, you see. When your awareness expands, the byproduct is healing in every area of your life, whether that's abundance, whether that's physical, whatever. That's just seek ye first the kingdom of, you got it? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things are added unto you. And so we're being asked to shift our perspective, realize we're in training. Train your mind. Train it. Focus. Affirm. Tell yourself the truth over and over and over and over and over again. Study it. Jnana Yoga, study it until it imprints. Study it, you say. Train your body. Take care of the light bulb so it can carry more energy. Put good stuff in it. Walk it around the block. Sometimes you guys take care of your pets more than you take care of yourself. Walk it around the block. Walk the body around the block, you see. Put good stuff in it, you see. Rest it when it's tired, you see. Embrace your soul. You're an individual soul. And on a cellular level, as you begin to do your meditation, your life visioning, your sacred prayer, as you begin to do this inner work, you'll begin to understand that signs follow consciousness. That when you expand your awareness, you begin to see signs everywhere. When you expand your awareness, you see, you begin to notice, oh my God, serendipity, coincidences, spontaneous goodness. You see, expand your awareness. And you start to have a sacred view of reality. Oh my God. The presence has always been the presence. It's never been an absence. It's not called practice the absence. It's called practice the presence. The presence is here, begging you to acknowledge it, to embrace it, to love it. You can go through devotion. Oh, I love God. I want to sing and dance. I love the presence. You can study. You can practice mitzvahs, good deeds, generosity, you see. You can practice shifting your energy. Do your breath work. You can practice the hatha with the asanas, you see. But you're not just here. Just bide your time until you die. You're here to walk with the eternal. Right where I am is the presence. It's never an absence. You're here to walk and talk with the presence. Until you're able to see through the delusion and the illusion that has so many minds captured today. I'm going to stop now, but do you realize that so many people are deluded by fear? Even though they'll hear, fear not. It's God's good pleasure to give you. They'll hear it. But you got to go through some training to really allow it to be activated in you. And when you do, I'm telling you, you'll live in a different world. And as the old saying goes, this joy that's in you, that's the absolute, irrefutable presence of God, is never given to you by the world. Therefore, the world can't take it away. Can you? That's freedom. Can you imagine? Living in the vicissitude, all the stuff that's going on, and you still got your joy? I'm inviting you into that state. The peace that passes human understanding. It's here if you're available. Do not be provoked, seduced, or intimidated by anything that's going to narrow your perception and have you walk in fear. Now, remember, I'm not saying throw caution to the wind and not take care of yourself. I'm not saying that, so don't give me a bunch of emails about that. I'm saying whatever you do it from the consciousness of connection, love, and the feeling tone that you're all right and that life is for you and there's nothing against you. And then you'll understand, as Maya Angelou reminds us, then you'll really understand why the caged bird sings. You understand why oppressed people around the world will rise up and celebrate. They're holding the frequency and the vibration of that which is seeking to manifest. Consciousness and then form. Consciousness first, form second. That's a metaphysician that leads to the mystical awareness of your oneness with the presence of God. This is sanity. And you want to be sane. Okay, I'm through. Let's see what the dancer has to say. Let's Nataraj, God as dancer.
Hey, taking my freedom, putting it on the shelf.
Carrie Ann Ingram is streaming in from Canada.
Wearing around my neck, I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. Let's breathe. My life like it's golden, living 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 my life like it's golden, golden.
Carrie Ann, we see you. You're dancing for God. Living your life like it's golden.
I'll be hot step
initiation time. It's initiation time. Let's, we're going to dance. Koya, you should come right on up here. Listen, you want to dance your way to freedom? You want to sing your way to freedom? You want to pray your way to freedom consciousness? You want to meditate to have a great opening? You want a vision to catch the destiny that's locked and loaded within you? You want to study so that your mind forms itself around truth principles? You want to definitely do good deeds. You definitely want to help others. You want to share. You want to shine. You want to give. You want to be generous. You want to absolutely take all the different yogas and anchor them and watch as heaven breaks over. What we got? This is praise and prayer. This is bhakti yoga, devotion, praise and thanksgiving, dancing for God, dancing for life, dancing for beauty. Oh, allow for your attention to go inward now. Don't move away from the screen. Turn within in this moment. And feel the activated prayer. Our practitioners are surrounding us right now, embracing the whole world. God has the whole world in his hands through this dynamic prayer field. And in this consciousness, we begin. Oh, we feel the beating of our heart and we feel grateful. We feel the blood moving through our body. We feel grateful. There's digestion going on and we're not consciously doing it. We're grateful that there's something back of all of this. And so we rise. Yet we rise in gratitude. We rise in gratitude. And something happens when one is grateful. You begin to see life differently. When our view is limited and we see only obstacles, toxic chemicals flow through the body temple and all we see are walls and issues. But as we exercise gratitude, we have to exercise it, you see. We have to activate it. And we begin to notice, oh my God, I've got so much to be grateful for. I was focusing on the issue. I was focusing on the roadblock. I was focusing on the road bumps. Sometimes road bumps are to slow you down a little bit. But there's so much for me. I will not allow my mind to fall into the abyss again until it happens again and we come out. Now we're recognizing the presence. Recognizing. I'm seeing it again. Oh, there's God. God's everywhere. There's God. God's everywhere. There's God. God's everywhere I see. And I feel so at one with the Spirit. I'm not having an identity crisis. My life is the life of God. And the very word that is spoken from this connection, it is a law that only knows its own fulfillment. I declare, I decree, I announce, I affirm, I know that right where we are, God is. No separation, no otherness. As I am speaking this word, I am embracing not just the Agape nation, but I'm embracing all nations. I'm embracing this planet and all sentient beings, and I'm knowing that where we are, God is, and that there is a maturation process that's being ignited by us, where nation states are so hardcore about separation and my nation is number one and my nation is number one. It's not about you being number one, it's about being one with the one. And when we're one with the one, we see everyone is one with the one. That's spiritual maturity. Not political saber rattling by the immature that sometimes rises up to places of power. But there's one power, and that's the power of God, and this is where we're living. So let's feel this in our bones now that everything is unfolding magnificently. A perfect spiritual idea is unfolding, but it needs a vibrational match. It needs a light bulb that can hold the energy. That's us. That's us. More powerful than anything that would bring us fear. Feel it in your bone. I want you to feel this. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Whew.
Hold on just a little while longer.
just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. You've got to hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. You've got to pray on, just a little while longer. Oh, pray on, just a little while longer. Pray on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. You got to sing, just a little while. Oh, we've got to sing, just a little while longer. Sing on, sing on, sing on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right.
You got to hold on to that expanded awareness. You've got to pray on from the depth of your connection with the presence of God. You've got to sing on from that sense of celebration. And even before something manifests, it's already happening in your awareness. You've got to live on. You've got to give on. You've got to share on. You've got to be on. As we continue our inward glance, we hold Jennifer O'Neill and her son Julian in prayer. Stephanie Victor and her husband Marcel in prayer. Yasmin Haronian in prayer. Right where she is a presence that's never an absence. The body temple is hearing this word and acclimating itself to a higher frequency. Jackie Freeman is free from pain. Right where she is the presence of God. We embrace Brother Walter Hart and his family as his Aunt Dot has shuffled off the mortal coil. Sister Janet Sula for her mother Elaine, who is ascending into life after life. Pam Morgan and family for her niece Latisha Chowning has moved into the invisible. Not invisible to God or those on the other side of the veil, just invisible to the five senses. Peace be still, Pam. Jamie and Susie and William Lula. They've released their dog Goody to the other side of the veil. They're celebrating the many years that they had with this particular expression of God's love. The same with Parveen Kangaroo and her son Malik, that her dog Charlie has moved on. They have great memories. And so now we embrace our nation right now, and we allow for our nation to be blessed as we allow the lightning rod of this prayer to be for the family of our Mayor Locke. It was killed by the Minneapolis Police Department at a no-knock warrant situation in which he was killed. We are holding this whole thing in prayer, but particularly the family and friends of Amir. Young, not even in his prime. Bless him. We bless Sister Lee, Jamie, and Michael as their father, our friend and colleague, the Reverend James Sassam, has shuffled off the mortal coil. I've known James before he came into this teaching. We worked for a city councilman together, and I initiated him into this way of thinking. He thought I was crazy until he yielded to the Spirit of God within him. James, God bless you in your ongoingness. Free from the body, free from the terrestrial body, but the celestial body is shining bright. Where is thy victory? Death has no victory. There's no such thing. There's only doors opening to another expression of life. And this is true for our brother Bob Proctor, who helped countless individuals to rise on up, expand their consciousness, embrace intentionality, and begin to live a life that was in accordance with their soul destiny. Bob, God bless you, Bob Proctor. Generous man. Generous with his time, generous with his teachings, generous with his substance. Agape was indeed a beneficiary of Bob Proctor's generosity. God bless you, Bob Proctor. God bless you. I remember him he was in the hospital one time when I visited him, and he was listening to a tape of mine, and he loved this teaching. And he added it to his teachings where he would speak around the world, and the teaching was, whatever's going on in your life, there's 3 stages. You accept what is, you harvest the good, and you forgive all the rest. He loved that. He said that helped him in his healing. Whatever's going on, you got to accept what's happening. Don't deny it, no wishful thinking. Then you harvest all the good that you can, and you forgive everything else. Bob, God bless you. Thank you for spreading that. Whoever you're holding in prayer right now, bring them to your heart. Don't worry about them. That's not going to help. Don't fret about them. That's not going to help. Turn them over to the presence. Just feel that right where they are, God is. Feeling is the healing right now. Oh, we give thanks for this, and we allow it to be so. Hold on. Pray on. Sing on. Dance on. Love on. Give on. Share on. Be on spiritual target. Everything's going to be all right. Is it the mind of God, the non-linear dynamic? Everything is all right already. And so we give thanks, knowing that it is so already. In the heart mind of the infinite now being so in our own awareness of it, we allow it to unfold with an ease, a grace, and a powerful dignity without one negative incident. The healings are happening right now. And so it is. Amen. As you slowly open your eyes, don't leave. This is where you get to practice in a very powerful way. You get to practice generosity. You get to practice giving. You get to practice the law of circulation. You get to practice like waking up and wanting to be a blessing. Of course, everybody wants to be blessed. But we teach, we also want to be a blessing. So this particular time, as you've been ensconced in the agape way today, you want to be a blessing to this community. And so we turn within and we give. What do we give? We give thanks that we have something to give. We bless it. We give thanks for whatever it is we have to give. We bless it. And in this blessing, it's multiplied by all the people around the world. And it becomes a stabilizing, progressive force in and as our community now. Amen. So you take this opportunity for the veterans. You already know what to do. And I want to thank God to all the veterans who are undergirding the community, that are giving on a regular basis. And for those of you who are stepping into this dynamic right now, you can begin this moment by what is called text to donate. That is, you take your phone and you text the word give to 424-321-6243. Your phone will prompt you. You decide what you want to give today, the regularity of your gifting. For those of you who are sighted, it's on the screen right this moment. For those of you who want to mail it in, remember when he mailed it in was a pejorative comment? We like you mailing it in. It's a beautiful comment. If you want to mail it in, it comes in right on time, all the time. Just make your checks and money orders out to Agape International. Mail it to 8549 Wilshire Boulevard, Suite 1156, Beverly Hills, California, 90211. Agape. You just do that right now. We love the testimonies, the little notes and letters you send. It's a beautiful thing. We love it. Send that in right away. If you want to go to our website, maybe you're on another platform. If you want to go to the website and give, you go to agapelive.com. There's a banner at the top. Eventually that banner will show where you can donate. Press the donate button and it will carry you through the instructions on how to give. Don't get frustrated. Don't give up. And don't think that's God's sign. This is too a little bit difficult. It must be God telling me I'm not to give. No. Don't let your ego get in the way of your blessing. You can give that way. If you're on Facebook, there's a donation button there. Whatever you do, if you desire to be a giver, then the universe, or the universal presence through the universe, is going to give you more to give. Try it. I'll be right back. For the power, the presence, the love, the beauty, the intelligence, the inspired wisdom of God Almighty, God All Beauty, God All Joy, the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, omniactive. We are here to represent the presence. So we turn within in this moment. We give thanks and we bless the offerings that are flowing to Agape right at this moment, whether it is in this tense, whether it is later for those who are archiving this because of the time zone aspect of life. Regardless of when, it's always now. So we bless the gifts coming in right now. We dedicate them to the knowing of truth, not just believing in it, but the absolute knowing of truth through spiritual practice that makes us free. We give thanks and we allow it to be so, and so it is. Amen. Thank you so much for your generosity and flexing your generosity muscles. Thank you for that. You're the first recipient of your giving. Remember that. You're the first recipient of your own generosity. Keep practicing the law of circulation. And when you go out today, if you go out, use your brakes more than you use your horn. Let somebody else go in front of you. Don't be upset that somebody gets in front of you. Extend your generosity to all the beings on the planet. Be patient with each other. Everybody's growing. Just be patient. Just be patient. Let us sing as Reverend Joanne Coleman's going to come forward and give us our benediction. Remember, we celebrated her mother's birthday and her Earth Day last week. She came to the planet last week and on that date, and we gave thanks. So this week, she's in the afterglow.
Amen, amen.
Let us sing.
John.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Reverend Joanne, take us home. Higher consciousness.
Sure, I'm going to take us where we already are.
That's right.
Already home in the devotional life, the sweet, sweet, sweetness of giving our lives over to the one holy presence. Oh, I'm so grateful and glad for this day. I'm glad to know how we got over. I'm so glad to know that the brought us here, got us now, and that it keeps us always. I'm so glad that I am one of the answers to our ancestors' prayers. Oh, I'm an answer from the long journey of the middle passage. I'm the here and now from a middle passage. I am what is true and so and real right now. Oh, I'm the one who's lifting every voice and singing. I'm the national anthem that they prayed for. Oh, this service is an answer to their prayer. we leave here today in the devotional bhakti yoga of the song, of the dance, of the chant, of the sweet, oh Lord have mercy, of our grandparents. Because we love mercy, because mercy suit my case better. And so I let this go. I let this be. I bless all that there is. Oh, blessed always. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Amen. Ashe. Have a bright week. Shine and glow for God.
The best you see, to the excellence that's meant to be. Receive the power in your hand to create new life at your command. The light in you is a gift we must awaken to. We're designed to speak a word and know, as it is above, it is below. right. Victor Dickerson. That's Dorothy Pincus with us today. Joshua Johnson. Tawana Floyd.
Wow.
Our very own Mijan Owens as our musical inspiration today.
And that's Marianne.
Hey.
Marianne Lewis, everyone.
All right, Mitch Foreman on keys, David Neal on guitar, John Hart on the bass. We got Curtis Bird on drums. Woo! Ted Blaisdell, Paul Bielenberg on the media aspect and sound. Kiana. Thank you all. We love you. Have a beautiful week. Blessings and love from Agape.